Good morning. My name is Kevin Burt. I work with the Department of Workforce Services Unemployment Insurance Division, and I am reporting on the unemployment insurance claims for the week of August 9th through August 15th. And I want to jump into some data quickly, but then I do want to spend a lot of time talking about the majority of the time talking about the Lost Wages Assistance Program, a new program available through by executive order from President Trump, and how that impacts people who are receiving unemployment insurance. But first, some positive signs for the economy. So during this week, we actually saw continued claims. Remember, unemployment insurance is week to week. And so a great indicator of how many people are continuing to need the benefit is that continued or ongoing weekly claim. So you have your initial applicants, and then every week they have to do an attestation of where they are at with their employment. And so that is a good indicator of how many people continue to need the benefit to help offset that loss they've experienced in employment due to this pandemic. And so in continued claims for the traditional benefit this week went down by 8.7%. And actually that number has gone down for 15 consecutive weeks. And over the last 2 weeks, that number is down 16%. So it is promising to see. A lot of people are returning to work certainly over the last 2 weeks, but we've also seen that reduction over the last 15 weeks. Now, looking at the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program, remember, is a temporary federally funded program through the remainder of this year through the CARES Act for the self-employed or gig workers. That actually also went down, and it went down 7.11% last week as opposed to the week before. That has gone down for 4 consecutive weeks, and has also gone down 16% over the last 2 weeks. Another promising sign or an indicator is one thing that we've been trying to do is how many people are falling off the benefits with the assumption of that they are returning to work. And one of the ways we've done that is we looked at a person that is receiving an unemployment benefit and has not asked for it or received it for 2 consecutive weeks, but it's not because there's an issue on the case. And that number last week was 7,412 individuals that have not needed the benefit for 2 consecutive weeks, a good indication that they have been successfully able to return to work. That number is the highest it has been since June 20th. We've tracked that and reported this on this briefing every week. That number is also a promising sign. So 16% reduction in continued claim, over 7,000 people returning to work. And the timing is great because we just saw significant impact with the loss of the $600 stimulus about 2 weeks ago with the federally funded CARES Act, a $600 stimulus expiring on July 25th. So that $600 stimulus was able to carry individuals until they were able to successfully return to work. Now, certainly, I want to be a mindful Melissa and recognize that we are certainly not through this pandemic and all signs are not positive. A couple things that did stand out is actually new claims went up this week by 7%. That's people who have been newly impacted by unemployment as a result of this pandemic. That is clear that this pandemic is not over and individuals are going to continue to need this unemployment insurance benefit, and we want to make sure to continue to provide that to them. For the week, we received 5,321 applications. While that is down almost 1,700 from 2 weeks ago, it is still 5 times more than the average number of weekly claims, new claims we took last year. So it's clear a lot of people are still being impacted by this pandemic and needing this unemployment assistance. Another indicator that went up is the extended benefit. Now remember, the unemployment insurance benefit is based on how much wages you earned over the last 5 quarters. So when you initially apply, we will do a monetary calculation that will determine how much your benefit, how much a week you will receive in a benefit, and for how long. The maximum number of weeks an individual can receive is 26 weeks. And so the extended unemployment benefit creates a new temporary program through the end of this year for an additional 13 weeks of federally funded benefits. So once an individual expires or exhausts that 26 weeks of unemployment from the state, they will seamlessly transition when they do their continued claim into the 13-week extended benefits, or up to that 13-week extended benefit. So that number of individuals or that applied for that was 1,497. And that means they have exhausted their 26 weeks of unemployment benefits and have transitioned into that 13-week extended benefit. Clear indication that they are struggling being able to re-engage in the workforce. And so, again, there are some positive signs, but there are certainly some signs of individuals struggling with employment and having difficulty returning to work. We also still have 67,000 people in the state of Utah that filed for a continued claim this last week. It is promising to show that it has gone down by double-digit % over the last few weeks, and that it has gone down for 15 consecutive weeks. But 67,000 is still a lot of individuals that are needing the unemployment benefit. Last week, we paid out $25 million in benefits to those that filed their continued claim last week. A couple key messages, especially for those that are currently receiving the unemployment benefit. And we talked the last few weeks about the ending of the job attachment, and everyone has been notified of that. But this week is a critical week for individuals that have lost that job attachment. On Sunday, when you file your continued claim, you will be asked to report on two things. One of them will be, did you look for work? If you answer no to that question, you will be determined ineligible for unemployment insurance. So please understand that in order to receive the unemployment benefit, you have to look for work and you have to complete 4 individual job contacts every single week to remain on the benefit. And where you report that is on your continued claim that you file every Sunday. So the first question is, have you looked for work? Yes or no? And the answer to continue to receive the benefit is yes. And then you have to report 4 unique individual job contacts that you made during this week. You will report that on Sunday. And then you will complete 4 new job contacts the next week. And every week, as long as you remain on the benefit, will require those 4 job contacts. Now, keep in mind, this is the way that unemployment insurance has always worked for the state of Utah. With this pandemic, we extended a job-attached deferral to many individuals who were expected to return to work. One of the reasons we made the decision to remove that job attachment is that this is week 23 since we saw significant increases in unemployment claims. The unemployment benefit is time limited. It's only available for 26 weeks, and we are in week 23. So there are individuals that have been furloughed that have not been able to return to work. They really do need to start looking for other options in today's new normal because the unemployment benefit is near exhaustion. So please keep in mind that when you file your weekly claim on Sunday, you will have to report that you have looked for work and report your 4 individual job contacts. That's the first time you'll see that this week, and then you'll see it every week ongoing moving forward. And that is true for all unemployment benefits, so please keep that in mind. I do also want to spend, as I said, most of the time talking about the Lost Wages Assistance Program. A little over a week ago, President Trump announced an executive order that would extend a stimulus benefit to those that are unemployed through FEMA. So FEMA is the Federal Emergency Management Agency. It is a different funding stream than the unemployment insurance usually works with. Unemployment insurance usually works with the Department of Labor. But because of the limitations of the executive orders, powers to be able to do things, the decision was made to use FEMA dollars, which are emergency dollars, which is why it's called the Lost Wages Assistance. Now, there's certainly a lot of clarifications that are still needed to be able to make sure that Utahns that are eligible for this benefit receive it. But what we do know is that Utah has applied for and been approved to pay out the $300 a week stimulus benefit for up to 3 weeks. And what will happen is it is already for retroactive weeks received. So it's for individuals that received an unemployment benefit from July 26th, when the $600 stimulus expired, through August 15th. And it's up to 3 weeks for $300 for those that are eligible. Now, we still don't have all of the information we need to be able to make sure that individuals that are eligible for this receive it and receive it accurately. We also have to stand up a new system to be able to pay this out, and it's also a different funding stream, so we're going to have to connect different financially to be able to receive those funds and transfer those out. So as a result of all of that, with the continued guidance still being received, with the building of the IT system, and being able to set up to pay out correctly and accurately from the correct funding stream, we do expect about 4 weeks to get to payment for these 3 additional weeks of $300. But Utah is one of only 7 states that have applied for and been approved to at least pursue this and pay this benefit out. Now, a couple really important things when it comes to the lost wages assistance. There is not an application. An individual does not need to apply for the lost wage assistance. Also, there is not a need to call. There's no need to request the benefit. Any individual that received an unemployment insurance benefit from July 26th through August 15th will automatically be considered for the $300 3-week stimulus benefit through the lost wage assistance program. So again, there's not a need to apply. There's not a need to call and request the benefit. You will automatically be considered for the weeks that you received a benefit during that 3-week time period. A couple other things that are going to be important. It is available to those on both unemployment insurance, those on pandemic unemployment assistance, and also those on the extended benefit. And so, again, July 26th through August 15th, 3 weeks, $300 a week. You do not need to apply or call, and it is available for all of the programs, including the state benefit and these temporarily federally funded benefits through the CARES Act. If you have additional questions, please visit jobs.utah.gov/COVID-19. We added an FAQ specific to this program. Again, we receive guidance every day about it, as we are one of 7 states that have signed up for it. It is new to FEMA. It is new to Utah. So we want to make sure that we coordinate and understand the rules of the program so that people are properly paid. And we do expect payment out within 4 weeks. And with that, I'll go ahead and take any questions. Okay, and so this is a good question that I missed on the lost wages assistance program. Again, we talked about who is eligible. You have to have received an unemployment benefit from July 26th through August 15th. It is for those that are on the state unemployment benefit, the pandemic unemployment assistance, as well as the extended benefit. Now, there are some individuals that are ineligible for that that are receiving these benefits, and that is based on the guidance in the executive order or the limitations in the executive order. And so one of the groups of people that are ineligible is, remember, when you apply for unemployment initially, you are given a monetary calculation, and it will determine, based on that monetary, meaning your wages, you are eligible for up to this dollar amount per week. In the executive order, it clarified that individuals that were ineligible for less than $100 per week in unemployment insurance are ineligible for the lost wages assistance program. So again, when you initially applied, a calculation was made to say you are eligible for this many weeks and up to this dollar amount per week. So it's not based on how much you received every week, it's based on how much you are monetarily eligible for. If you are eligible for less than $100 a week based on that calculation, unfortunately, the lost wages assistance is not a program that is available to you. Now, on the positive side, we do believe, we ran some numbers, and we believe nearly 95% of individuals that are receiving unemployment assistance are monetarily eligible for more than $100. So there are some people that will be found ineligible as a result of that $100, they have to be at least monetarily eligible for $100. Another thing that is a requirement, because it is a FEMA fund, it is tied to the pandemic. And so in order to be eligible for the benefit, an individual has to be unemployed or have lost employment as a direct result of the pandemic. So that is another thing that we are working with FEMA on to better understand what does that mean and who would be eligible based on that information. And we will continue to update that FAQ. But primarily those that received a benefit from July 25th through August 15th will be automatically be considered without application. However, if you're below a monetary of $100 per week and you are not unemployed as a direct result of the pandemic, you will be ineligible for the benefit. But we will continue to provide guidance as we better understand that and make sure that those that are eligible receive it. Okay, and so the question is, will processing of lost wages assistance delay the unemployment payment, the weekly unemployment payment, or if I've already applied, is it going to just delay that? And the answer is no. So remember, we're going to continue to work and process all the claims every day and pay out those that are determined eligible. What we have to do on the side is make sure that we understand this lost wages assistance program, make sure that we set up financially to be able to pay it out accurately to those that are eligible, and then systematically figure out a way to pay it out and build that. And that's what we believe will take 4 weeks. But it does not change the processing timeline or the weekly payouts of unemployment benefits. We are separating those, so you will continue to receive, if you are eligible, the unemployment benefit that you have been receiving. Again, just keep in mind there are some changes you will see on your weekly claim on Sunday about did you look for work and your 4 job contacts, but this will not delay it. But we do want to make sure this benefit gets out. There are a lot of people that are in need. Again, it's 3 weeks, up to $300, so we're looking at about $900 retroactively. We believe that once we have it built, it'll pay out the same as it has. So if you're on pandemic, you've been receiving a check, so you will receive a retroactive check for that time period if you're determined eligible. And for those on the state unemployment or the extended, you will receive it the way that you have been receiving your unemployment assistance so far. Okay, and with that, we'll go ahead and end this briefing. Thank you.